Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? Today on my other channel, Autumn's Backyard Garden, I released the third installment of the videos for the October 7 incident and the preparation that first responders and civilians can take. Okay, so please go over and watch that. So today's video here, I'm going to be playing catch up with a lot of emails and videos that were sent in by you guys, community members. Okay, I do have to apologize for the last few days, for Monday and Tuesday, that I didn't upload. Sean and I had a very, very busy house. We had a lot of things going on. We had a contractor come in, and we had some electrical work done. After 21 years of a house, being here, we, things have to get fixed. So we had electrical sockets replaced, things like that. And so that's what we did. We had an electrician come in and replaced the electrical sockets in the house and the ones that were outside as well. And if you remember last year when the roof was leaking before we had the roof replaced, I had showed you guys a video. I don't have the video anymore, but every time it rained, rainwater would come in through the little chandelier that hangs above the front door on the inside. And we had that done too. So that's finished now. So anyway, I'm going to talk about things that were sent in by you guys. Okay. The first thing, this was sent in October. Well, no, I'm sorry. This was sent in just the other day, but this post was put up October 1st. And the community member who sent this in said that she agreed that they should not get paid to sit on their ass. And she's talking about some of the government workers. She said if they come in for a meeting to discuss the shutdown, then they should get paid an hourly rate like most employees do. Yeah, I absolutely 100% agree with you. She said, plus, I think that they need to come into the office more like 40 hours a week unless they're on a government trip or something to do with the U.S. They get paid about $174,000 to $193,000, depending on position, etc. They come in to the office less than 179 times in 2025, which means they make $972 to $1,080 each time they work. Plus, we pay for their lunches, their cars, you name it. This doesn't include kickbacks from lobbyists, etc. I don't think we're getting our money's worth for these idiots to say that what's good for our citizens. And I absolutely agree. So Congressman Ralph Norman, Republican from South Carolina, just filed a bill to end congressional paychecks during a government shutdown. And yeah, I absolutely 100% agree with this. If my husband has to go to work every single day during a government shutdown, okay, and not receive pay, then these guys don't need to get pay either. But guess who's still getting paid? Yeah. So, but there's a kicker behind this, okay? He doesn't want them to receive back pay, okay? So, finally, someone in Washington is standing up and saying enough is enough. For far too long, career politicians have protected themselves, like they put like a whole bunch of bubble wrap around them, okay, from the pain of their own failures, okay? So when the government shuts down, ordinary Americans still have to pay the price. Families worry about missing paychecks, and I've always said, and I've been saying this for years, 99% of us in this country, we're one paycheck away from being homeless, okay? So these missing paychecks, thanks a bunch, guys, okay? You just made a whole bunch of us homeless, you dickheads, okay? So Small businesses, they lose contracts, federal workers are left in limbo. Meanwhile, members of Congress keep collecting their paychecks without missing a beat. Thanks a bunch. That's not leadership. Okay, that's a privilege. Okay, so Ralph Norman's bill is turning the table, if you will. All right. And if Congress cannot get its job done, Congress does not get paid. All right. Why should they keep receiving their paycheck? All the while, all they're doing is throwing temper tantrums. Okay. And I gave you almost the entire list of reasons why they're throwing their temper tantrums and keeping the government shut down. All right. So no more phony theatrics, okay, where politicians pretend to share the pain only to quietly grab their payback later. They don't share pain with us, okay? They make $174,000 a year, so they say, but yet they live in multi-million-dollar homes. Make that make sense? So this bill says that it's plain. No work, no pay, just like the rest of us. Okay, so this is accountability. This is transparency. That we the people have demanded for years. Point blank. Period. Okay. Oh, Washington has turned shutdowns into a freaking circus. Okay, and it's like a lot of people say, "Oh, not my monkey, not my circus." Oh yeah, come again? I don't think so. So it's using livelihoods as a bargaining chip to support illegal immigration while their own paychecks stay safe. Okay? Norman's bill ends the scam. All right? If members of Congress knew that their next paycheck depended on passing a responsible budget, do you still think that we would see endless shutdowns? No, we wouldn't. So would negotiations drag on for weeks if their mortgage or their car payments, their grocery bills were on the line? No. Okay, so compromise and common sense would not be optional. It would be required. Okay? They would have to use this brain. Okay? So the bill sends a message to every lawmaker. Knock it off. Stop hiding behind talking points and do your jobs. Stop gambling with the American economy. Stop expecting taxpayers to cover the cost of your incompetence. Ralph Norman has drawn the line. Thank you, sir. Every member of Congress must now answer for this. Are they with the people? Okay. Or with the ruling class that shields itself while the rest of us suffer? It's just a question. So the next thing that we're going to be talking about is this is what's going on in Indianapolis. So Google has a plan to put in another, and these things are popping up like I don't know what, a massive data center on a property on the southeast side is now officially off the table. Representatives for the company formally withdrew the petition on Wednesday, which was October 1st. Okay. And the announcement of the change in plans first came the week before, just ahead of a critical vote by the Indianapolis City County Council. And the company could repetition for the rezoning after like 3 months or something like that. But that clock started the Wednesday before, the 1st of October. And after the 3-month timeout, okay, any entity can issue a new zoning request with the city. So the rezoning plan, which is known as codename Project Flow, FLO, would have converted nearly 470 acres of farmland. So thanks for taking that away from us. into a data center campus, and supporters saw billions of dollars in investment, jobs, and tax relief for township schools. And people against this project cited not enough jobs, power and water strain, and no tax benefits. So some people that are living near the proposed site in Franklin Township had signed petitions, and they also held protest demonstrations to help Google from moving in, which good on you for doing that. So with the proposal now that is withdrawn, the farmland, the 470, okay, near Southeastern Avenue and Troy Avenue remains zoned for agriculture. So, if the proposal has been voted on and denied, and any new petitions on the site would have been restricted for 1 year. So, Indiana, they have now pitched itself as a growing hub for data centers using tax incentives to attract national players. So, Google's exit now raises a lot of questions about whether other tech giants will now commit to central Indiana, or whether opposition from neighbors and counselors will cool the momentum. They really need to quit the shit when it comes to these data centers, because people are literally footing the bill when it comes to their electric bills, their water bills, and their housing. The housing market goes down the toilet. No kidding. So now I have a bunch of videos that were sent in by community members that I'm going to share with you, okay? So enjoy these videos. I will see you guys in the next one. You stay safe, you stay positive, you keep prepping, and as always, fearless and godless. Ciao.
Còn đang là phán hỏi bà lát nãy đi. Ta, những ta máu. Còn thật.
My issue is right now I'm foregoing my pay because our troops aren't getting paid. And if our troops aren't getting paid, no member of Congress should be paid right now. And we've got women and kids who aren't going to get food stamps, who are not going to be able to get food on the table. And this is what they've done. And we have passed 13 clean CRs, or 13 clean continuing resolutions, 13 times when Biden was president, and we can't do it now just because they don't like Trump. It is ridiculous. It's stupid.
We were planning when I was working for Pelosi. I don't know that this has ever been made public, or I've never said this publicly, but planning for a January 6th type of an event 2 years before it happened.
As to illegal aliens, we agree with you that we do not think the comprehensive health care benefits should be extended to those who are undocumented workers and illegal aliens. We do not want to do anything to encourage more illegal immigration into this country. We know now that too many people come in for medical care as it is. We certainly don't want them having the same benefits that American citizens are entitled to have.
What's up, everybody? So, government shut down, first day. Now they're talking, you're starting to hear, oh, well, this is the way that we can streamline the government and we can really slim it down and blah, 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 blah. That's true. But let's talk about why. So with the government shut down, it's the requirement of the executive, along with the Army and the Marine Corps, to make sure that the nation still functions. That also means that they can move assets without congressional approval, because Congress is basically out the window, okay? With the government shut down, the U.S. Supreme Court doesn't exist, so it moves to the U.S. Marine Corps Division Main Court justices or judges and the Army Judge Advocate Generals and the Air Force Judge Advocate Generals, depending on what jurisdiction we're talking about, whether it's space or air or land or sea, commercial, right? Which really, this isn't going to be space or air. Everything's really in maritime or in federal commercial. So right now, what can happen, like what's probably going to happen, and this is going to sound a little crazy, but this is what I see. The police forces, all law enforcement, is going to get moved to Division Main, Marine Corps, and they're going to be attached to as our law enforcement mechanism, and that will facilitate the re-establishment of the American militia, which starts with the veterans. Second, and this is beautiful, transportation and transit will be taken away from the states, and they will be moved into North America, and that transportation transit system will operate under the Army Corps of Engineers. So remember back in the day, like we had the Army Corps of Engineers for the bridges? Well, now the Army Corps of Engineers is going to be over our bridges, our roads, all that stuff. That's transportation. Okay? So the states and the local counties can't profit from them anymore with their buddy contractors, right? So that's going to happen. Public land and ground will be moved to Judge Advocate Generals, and so will the probate courts. And this is the best part. Healthcare will be nationalized through the Army. EMS will be nationalized through the Army. Fire services, emergency response, emergency management, all weather, all that stuff is going to be through the Army, with the Marine Corps as the countersign. Okay? Sorry, something climbed my ear. So you're talking about national health care, bye-bye medical insurance companies, see ya. It was all for profit scam anyways. All these organizations, NGOs that were sponsored by Congress, no more NGOs, not unless they're for profit. 501c3 churches, you're gone. You're a business. No more tax write-offs, no more 501c3 churches. You're going to have to become an American religious establishment, or you're going to be recognized as a business. So it's going to be the keys they gave them the keys to the kingdom. They gave the Army and Marine Corps, along with the executive, keys to the kingdom. It's going to be a whole new nation with a whole new reality, a whole new education system. Education, university education, that's over. That's going back to the military and the veterans. The colleges for the universities will stay for profit, the way it's supposed to be. And by the way, just so everybody knows, nobody ever got a university degree. You got a college degree that was sponsored by a university. According to my background check, I have a Bachelor of Laws from the University of Florida that was issued to me. But that is a Bachelor of Laws under English common law, which is actually a university degree, not a college degree. Got it? So let's see what happens. Get your popcorn. That also means that local, state, and federal emergency services will be under military courts. Interesting. God bless. Godspeed.
The undocumented are not allowed to receive benefits from this initiative. It was clear in the first bill. It's even clearer in the second bill. So the cap on who can receive it, stronger language as to undocumented. No illegal aliens, to use your term, I prefer undocumented, are able to get benefits.